Alright guys, so today I'm gonna explain you the Demolish Tristana build, which is a build for the Tristana mid lane, but you don't have to play it on mid lane. So you will later see in the video, I did not play in mid lane, I played on the bot lane as an AD carry, but that doesn't matter at all. So let me explain the build to you. First of all, the keystones of the runes. So you will use, like as you can see here, you will use press the attack in the precision rune. But why would you do that? So press the attack is pretty helpful because you will deal bonus damage if you hit an enemy 3 consecutive times, because this enemy becomes vulnerable, so you will deal more damage to him with auto attacks. The next thing you're gonna build is the presence of mind, because it increases your mana or energy regeneration when you damage a champion. So this is pretty helpful because your main damage is auto attacks. So if you attack a champion, you will automatically restore mana, which is helpful because as a Tristana you will use your bomb a lot, you will use your W a lot. If you attack an enemy, if you chase down an enemy, you will have a lot of mana. The third part of the rune is the legend Alacrity, because takedowns will grant you attack speed, and this build is based on damage and attack speed, not damage to enemies at all, but to buildings like the Nexus, the inhibitor and the towers, because like you want to crush them, as the name says. And the last thing in your first rune right here is the Coup de Greaves, because you will deal more damage to low health enemy champions. So in that combination, your rune is based on attack speed and on attack damage, and also you will deal more damage if the enemy is on low health. So this combination is pretty good to, yeah, like literally hunt down enemies. And also the second part is the resolve. And why resolve? So resolve because it has demolish in it. That's what the build is. Because demolish, as you can see right here, it charges up a powerful attack against a tower while you are near it. So you have to be like, I think 3 seconds or 4 seconds within the tower range to charge a powerful attack. So it's pretty good for destroying buildings. And the second part is the Boneplating, because with the Boneplating you receive less damage. So if you take damage from an enemy, the next 3 spells or attacks you will receive like 30 to 60 less damage from it. So it's pretty good to survive like longer fights. And then yeah, you have the usual like offense, flex and defense. So like in offense you will go for attack speed because it gives you like 10% attack speed. In the defense you will go for magic resist, because as you can see in the item build, you will build armor. So you need a little bit of magic resistance right here. And then you also go for adaptive force, because adaptive force helps you like with the W or the E if you bomb like on the E, which is like one of your most damage. So that's for the runes. So now let's move on to the item build. So you can see they are the usual starting items. You can like, you don't have to build them, but I would assume to build them, because like you start with a heal potion, and this blade is also pretty good. Well, it's the most common starter item for marksman. So, and then your core item build is the Triforce and the Hullbreaker, and also the Berserker's Greaves. So the Triforce because it gives you like more attack damage with its passive. The Hullbreaker because it gives you health and it gives you more damage and resistance, like more damage towards buildings like the towers or the Nexus or the inhibitors, and also a little bit of resistance like magical resist and also normal armor. And then you have the situational items. First of all, I would go for the Blade of the Ruined King, because it gives you attack damage and it gives you also lifesteal a little bit. And just remember, all you want to go for is attack damage and you want to survive. That's why you have these runes. That's why you build Triforce. That's why you have the Hullbreaker. So why not building the Blood of the Rune King also? And the next thing I would go for would be the Rageblade. So it depends on the situation. Like in the gameplay, I will show you. I went for the Rageblade because it gives you like more attack damage, more attack speed. But I will explain that later. And you have the Wits and as an alternative for dealing some magical damage also, and Nashors Tooth also as an alternative. For example, if you see like the enemy tank is buying a lot of armor, you can go for this, so you can deal a little bit more damage with your spells, with your skill order, like for the bomb especially. And then there's the Titanic Hydra. As the name says, the Titanic Hydra gives you like a lot of health, and also it gives you a lot of damage, and with its passive you have a lot of wave clear, but also you deal more damage to other champions. For example, if they group up, you can deal damage to like all of them because there's a shockwave. And then there's a skill order. The skill order you can start on Q, WE, but I would recommend, especially on Tristana, to start on the E for the bomb and then skill the W, then the Q as the first 3 levels. And then you max out your E, because the bomb gives you the most damage. So, and now I have also a gameplay I can show you where I explain my item build in the situation. Alright, so let's right into this. Oh, here is the scoreboard. As you can see, I start with the usual starting equipment. So as you can see, now I've got my first core item, which is the Trinity Force, because it gives me like the 3-fold strike as a passive, which is pretty good for auto attacks, because it's dealing also a lot of damage. Yeah, the usual mythic passive also. And also the Spellblade is pretty good, because after my next ability, my basic attack is enhanced with an additional 150 physical damage. So it's pretty good for like 1v1 situations, or like in general if you are fighting a tank. Additional damage is also pretty good. So as we come back here, now there's the situation. Well, they're doing the dragon, as you can see. And I'm over here. So I have Trinity Force right now. And now the fight starts, so we can take a look over here. There are 4 of them right now. There's the Vego, there's the Samira, the Yone, and the Pike. And we're also 3, so there are once more. 4 against 3 guys. So, and as you saw right here, what I did to the Pike was because I used the W before I went here. So my next basic attack, as you can see right here in the Trinity Force, it's loading. My next basic attack is dealing 159 additional damage, and that's why I killed the Pike right here. And also, as you can see what I'm doing, I'm dealing a lot of damage to them. Jumped out, and now look at the Viego. So it helped me also survive, because I dealt a lot of damage. So they had to back up. So as you can see right now, I've finished my boots, which is just like for the attack speed. Like it's the usual Berserker's Greaves you're building, because it gives you 35% more attack speed and also movement speed, and the attack speed is pretty decent for marksmen. Also in combination with the Trinity Force, it's pretty decent, because well, with the passive of the Trinity Force plus the attack speed, that's a lot of damage you've got in the early game already. So now I've jumped a little bit forward to show you this. So I'm right here, and as you can see, I already finished the Hullbreaker, which gives me a magic resist and also armor, but it also increases my damage to the tower, and it also gives me 400 health, so which is pretty good for the following fight. As you can see, like there are 4 of them: the Pike, the Sin, the Yone, and the Viego, and we're only 2, but we can defend this, as you can see right now. So they didn't even try since I'm 7-7 with this build right now. And we can see the teleport right there. So there's the fight. And look, just look at me. So I also have a Yumi, but so I'm waiting right here for them. So the Yone is in, and now I throw the bomb. I got the stacks, and the Yone is down. I got the shutdown, and there's a Yumi ult which helped me. But also, look at the Samira, how low she is. There's the Viego. Look, the Viego is also down, and I've dealt a lot of damage right there. So as you can see, look, the Pyke is gone right now. Also next shutdown. And I can tell you, the Samir is also down. So I got like 3 kills right there. And as you can see, I'm only at like 2 items and the boots. So I didn't even finish my 3rd item, and I'm dealing a lot of damage right now. And I'm also have a lot of health, as you can see right on the left side. So I'm at 264 current attack damage, and my main health, max health is 2k, which helps a lot to survive like fights. But I also have a little bit of armor. Not much, but just a little bit. And it's good enough to survive big fights. So I jumped a little bit forward right now to show you the damage I'm dealing to the Nexus in just a few seconds.
Shut down.
So look at the Nexus and look at the damage I'm dealing. So at that point of the match, I also finished my next 2 items, like the Blade of the Rune King, and I decided to go for a Rageblade because it's giving me attack speed, which is pretty decent. So as we can see in the Blade of the Rune King, it's damage, it's attack speed, and it's also lifesteal. Helps you to survive and deal a lot of damage at the same time. And I went for the Rageblade because it gives you more attack speed. So we can see right here, my attack speed is almost at 2.0, and I also have over 300 current damage, attack damage, and 69 armor. So this build is almost done at this point, and let's see how much damage I'm dealing to this Nexus. So look at this. It's like, it's gone. It's just gone. So the damage is really good. So because with the Trinity Force and also with the Hullbreaker, this is the core build. So the Trinity Force and the Hullbreaker are the core builds, because you're dealing a lot of damage to towers, and then you go for the Rageblade. For the Rageblade, it depends on the situation, but you go for the Blade of the Rune King to have like more attack speed and a little bit of lifesteal, so you can survive easier. So I just finished my whole item build. So as the last item, I went for the Titanic Hydra, because the Titanic Hydra is also again pretty decent to survive big fights. So especially with the Pyke, who can hook you, the Titanic Hydra is awesome because it gives you another 500 additional health, and we can see I'm almost at 3k at this point. But it also deals additional 36 physical damage on hit, and also a shockwave which deals 69 physical damage. So it's also pretty good for wave clear, but also to damage like enemies who grouped up to chase you. So at this point we're in the base. So yeah, that's the full item build. The core build is the Trinity Force and the Hullbreaker with the boots, and then you can go for a Titanic Hydra, a Blade of the Rune King, a Rageblade. So that's what I went for, to have the attack speed and the damage. And now look at this Pyke. Look like he's gone. Like he just exploded. And now look at the damage I dealt to the Nexus with this item build. So I survived this. I got this kill. Well, I died right there because Samira has also a lot of damage. But yeah, so I guess that's all I had to show you. Like, this is the full item build, like as I said. So yeah, that's how you play Demolish Tristana. I hope you enjoyed this video and have fun trying it yourself. Bye bye.